Hey, Dr. Joe McCullough here, best-selling author of Accelerated Learning Techniques for Students, and I'm pleased to welcome you to this month's video blog. Since for many students, I know final exams are right around the corner, I wanted to make a quick little video to help you get the most out of your studying time. So stay tuned for How to Ace Your Final Exams, 5 quick tips in 5 minutes. Let's jump right into it. Quick tip number 1 for how to ace your final exams is spread out your studying. What this means is taking the total amount of time you're going to be studying and spread that out over 2, 3, or 4 days. For example, let's say you were going to study 6 hours for an upcoming final exam. The worst thing you could do is wait until the night before the exam and cram for 6 straight hours. You're not going to get as much benefit and you're not going to remember as much as if you take the total 6 hours and spread it out over 2, 3, or 4 days. Ideally, the longer you can spread it out, the more benefit you're going to get. For example, if I were studying 6 hours for a particular final exam, I would probably break it up into 3 2-hour study sessions. I would study for 2 hours 3 days before the exam, another 2 hours 2 days before the exam, and the last 2 hours I would study the night before the exam. You're going to get more benefit and remember more by spreading out your studying. Quick tip number 2 for how to ace your final exams is study in short, focused bursts of attention. What I recommend is you actually get out a timer. Set that timer for a specific amount of time. 25 minutes is a great time to shoot for, and then focus intensely for those 25 minutes without any external distractions. Get rid of Facebook, no email, no web browsing, no texting. Put your cell phone away. Give yourself 25 minutes of focused attention. Then take a 5-minute break. Then do another 25 minutes of focused attention. And then take a longer 10 or 15-minute break. You'll see in about an hour, hour and 10 minutes, you're getting a good 50 minutes of focused attention. And if you can really focus and work intently for those 50 minutes, you'll be amazed at just how much work you can get done and how productive you'll be. So think about this pattern when studying. 25 minutes of short focused attention, 5-minute break, another 25 minutes of short focused attention, followed by a longer 10 or 15-minute break. Repeat that cycle 3 or 4 times in a night, and you will get a tremendous amount of work done. You'll really rock your final exams. Give it a try. Quick tip number 3 is apply the 80-20 principle. What this says is that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. The flip side of this is the other 80% of your efforts only gives 20% of your results. In other words, all tasks are not created equally. You're going to get a lot more benefit from some tasks than you are other ones. As a student, what this means is before you sit down to study for a final exam, really take some time to think about what is going to give you the most bang for your studying buck. In other words, what are you going to get the most benefit from? Now, it's going to be different for different classes, but let me give you one guideline. Passively rereading notes, the textbook, and things like that is generally one of the least effective ways of studying. If you're not actually reading with pen in hand and taking notes and you're just passively rereading it, it's generally going to be a waste of your time. You want to make sure you're using active recall, which means trying to retrieve the information from your memory banks. This is especially true when looking over solutions to problems. So if you're in a maths, chemistry, physics class and you're studying how to solve a problem, do not passively reread the solutions. Go through it with pen in hand, solve it on your own, actively retrieve the information from your memory. Quick tip number 4 is practice how you will be tested. In other words, you want to practice for the exam under the same conditions that you're going to be taking the exam. So for example, in my class, students are allowed a scientific calculator and a page full of notes. What I highly recommend to my students is they take one of my old exams under test conditions, only using their calculator, only using their page of notes, and that'll really give them a good idea of how prepared they are for the final exam. So if you know how you're going to be tested, meaning, are you allowed a page of notes? Are you allowed an equation sheet? Is it all from memory? Are you allowed a textbook to refer to? Study under those same conditions. you're going to get a good idea of how prepared you are. And if you're studying under different conditions from which you'll be tested, you can fool yourself into thinking you're more prepared than you really are. And the final quick tip for how to ace your final exams is get a good night's sleep. Now, I know as a student you've heard about the importance of sleep, but I'm here to tell you for a final exam, going into the exam with not enough sleep is really setting yourself up for disappointment. You're just not going to be working at 100%. Adequate sleep is important for every aspect of test taking that you could possibly imagine. Let me just read from you a quick little quote from Dr. John Medina from his book, Brain Rules. The bottom line is that sleep loss means mind loss. Sleep loss cripples thinking in just about every way you can measure thinking. Sleep loss hurts attention, executive function, working memory, mood, quantitative skills, logical reasoning ability, and general math knowledge. I'm pretty sure all of those things are pretty important for taking a final exam, so please get a good night's sleep. To quote Forrest Gump, and that's all I have to say about that. Well, that's it. 5 quick tips on how to ace your final exams. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel to stay informed of future video posts. Until then, happy learning and good luck on your finals.